Well, one of my first, in fact, a memory from my early days at Intel was Gordon Moore invited me into his office, and he showed me an article that he had published, actually I believe it was a few years before when he was at Fairchild, in which he was predicting that the number of components on an integrated circuit would be increasing with time, doubling roughly every year or two. And he had actually plotted some of the early Intel products on his chart, and if anything, they were above his projection. They were even more aggressive than his projection predicted. In about 1974, a researcher at IBM published an article projecting and predicting it would be advantageous to make things significantly smaller. Now, at the time that article was published, the typical feature size, if you did it in nanometers, would be around 5,000 nanometers. We called it 5 microns. We have been making things smaller and smaller and smaller. And today the feature size people are talking about are in the 10 to 20 nanometer range. There are many questions as to whether Moore's law is at its end or not. In fact, I believe I have some articles that are maybe from 6 or 7 years ago in which people predicted that things could not be made any smaller and that Moore's law had come to an end. And today we're making things maybe 1/10 the dimension that that article was discussing. But it could be a change in the economics of the industry if we no longer have this ability